Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving straight into a massive but kind of silent revolution that's happening right now across our oceans. We're literally looking at a race to upgrade the operating system of global trade. I mean, imagine trying to stream a 4K movie on an old dial-up connection, right? That is basically our current global supply chain. But right now, major Asian ports are sprinting to upgrade to this hyper-connected fiber optic reality called Port 4.0. We're going to break down exactly how they're pulling this off and what it actually means for all of us.
Okay, here's our itinerary for today. We'll hit 1. The invisible trade bottleneck. 2. What is a smart port? 3. South Korea's AI hub. 4. Japan's 2030 automation vision. 5. Taiwan's digital transformation hurdles. And finally, 6. The future of global shipping. All right, let's get into it.
Section 1. The invisible trade bottleneck. The urgent need for modernization. So take a second and just look at the stuff around you right now. Your laptop, your clothes, the materials literally building the walls of your home. How did it all get to you? Well, the answer is maritime shipping. A staggering 90% of everything we consume relies on international ports. But here's the catch. Right now, these ports are seriously struggling. They're choking on unprecedented congestion, dealing with mounting environmental emissions, and seeing incredibly sluggish turnaround times. Why? Because the old manual ways of doing things simply can't keep up with the exploding demands of global trade. They've become a massive invisible bottleneck. To really wrap our heads around the massive stakes of this bottleneck, just think about this number for a second. 77%. South Korea's Busan port handles 77% of the entire country's import and export cargo all by itself. We are talking about a cargo throughput valued at a mind-boggling 472 trillion won. When just one single node in the global network holds that much economic weight, any tiny inefficiency is incredibly costly. It's like if this one port sneezes, the whole global supply chain catches a cold. So port efficiency isn't just about moving boxes around. It is absolutely the lifeblood of our global economy.
Moving on to Section 2. What is a smart port? Moving from Port 1.0 to Port 4.0.
We are witnessing the birth of Port 4.0. This is the ultimate top-tier technological upgrade. It's a massive, total shift away from traditional, manual, paper-shuffling labor right into these interconnected, hyper-efficient, and sustainable logistics hubs. Think of it like taking a giant piece of physical infrastructure and snapping a brilliant digital brain right on top of it, one that can see, predict, and optimize every single movement within the port.
So, what is this digital brain actually made of? Well, it's powered by an invisible layer of cutting-edge tech. We've got underwater and surface IoT sensors constantly chatting over 5G networks. We've got blockchain locking down complex logistics data. And honestly, most incredibly, we're talking artificial intelligence and digital twins. And hey, these modern digital twins, they aren't just fancy 3D video games. They are absolute crystal balls for logistics. I mean, they can predict exactly where resources need to go, calculate ship arrival times down to the minute, and even test out crazy operational scenarios before they ever happen in the real world. Now, this gives us a really great way to compare things. We're essentially tracking 3 main characters today, each taking totally different paths to cross the 2030 smart port finish line. First up, we have South Korea, acting as the pace setter, going all in on AI automation. Then we have Japan as the visionary, prioritizing remote robotics and disaster resilience. And finally, we have Taiwan as the challenger, hustling to overcome some deep systemic hurdles through a plan they call Trans-Smart Digital Integration. All right, Section 3, South Korea's AI hub, inside the 892.1 billion won transformation. To really appreciate what South Korea is pulling off, we kind of have to look at how things used to be. The old way was just painstakingly slow. Truck drivers literally had to stop, get out of their cabs, and wait around for manual gate checks and endless paper processing. It caused these massive traffic jams and, honestly, terrible emissions. But the new way? It's completely powered by Busan's highly advanced logistics integration platform. They rolled out this app called All-Con-E, which has voice-activated AI. So now, drivers can just automatically book their slots, get arrival time recommendations, and breeze through smart gates without ever unbuckling their seatbelts. This is a real game changer. It drastically speeds up the supply chain and, crucially, cuts way down on carbon emissions from thousands of idling trucks. And when you look at the recent academic data measuring digital transformation satisfaction among port stakeholders, you can see Busan Port is absolutely leading the pack. They aren't just winning by a hair either.
Thanks to a rapid, aggressive rollout of AI terminals and automated transport systems, Busan earned a perfect 1.000 satisfaction score. Coming in behind them, we see Kaohsiung Port at 0.879 and Tokyo Port sitting at 0.700. Let's jump to Section 4, Japan's 2030 Automation Vision, Robotics and Resilience. Over in Japan, they've got this master plan called Connect to the Future. And what makes their strategy so visionary is this brilliant dual focus. On one hand, for routine, day-to-day operations, they are aggressively pushing remote-controlled robotics. We're talking massive, tire-mounted gantry cranes being operated safely from a distance just to improve the working environment. But, as we know, Japan is uniquely prone to natural disasters, so they've actually designed their smart ports for extreme resilience. If a crisis hits, the port immediately deploys fleets of drones, pulls in low-orbit satellite imagery, and uses GPS to rapidly assess the damage. This means they can dispatch emergency materials and get back online faster than ever before. It's incredibly smart. Which brings us to Section 5, Taiwan's digital transformation hurdles, catching up in the race. Now, remember that 0.879 satisfaction score for Taiwan? We really shouldn't view that as a failure. Not at all. Really, it just perfectly illustrates a very relatable transition involving some deep, systemic hurdles that so many legacy ports around the world are facing right now. A recent analysis broke this down into 4 key areas holding them back. First up, government. There's just a lack of standardized financial incentives to push private operators to make these upgrades. Second, the environment. The broader shipping industry is just notoriously slow to adopt new tech. Third is equipment, because the upfront costs to replace massive legacy hardware are frankly staggering. And finally, personnel. They're dealing with an aging workforce right alongside a severe gap in fresh, digital-first talent who can actually run Port 4.0 operations. It's a tough puzzle to solve. Section 6. The future of global shipping. The era of autonomous logistics. So, here is the absolute crucial point. Researchers have boiled all this down to the top 5 absolute necessities for any port that wants to survive the current supply chain crisis. If a port wants to succeed, they literally must master ship monitoring systems. They have to invest heavily in AI-powered automated terminals. They need automated gate systems for trucks. They must provide timely navigation data to vessels, and they've got to secure their perimeters with intelligent port access management. Listen, these aren't just luxury, nice-to-have upgrades anymore. They are the fundamental building blocks of tomorrow's global trade network, period. And this evolution is moving fast. Just look at the timeline. In 2024, Busan already opened its first fully automated terminal using domestic tech. By 2026, South Korea's Gwangyang port is set to launch a fully functioning 5G smart test platform. And all of this momentum points directly to the year 2030. By 2030, we're expecting to enter a standardized era of AI ports communicating seamlessly with autonomous ghost ships. Imagine that. Massive cargo vessels guided across the oceans without a single human crew member on board, docking perfectly at completely AI-controlled terminals. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's happening. It is a staggering technological leap. And honestly, it brings us to a pretty profound question. When artificial intelligence manages the entire port ecosystem, and giant autonomous ghost ships sail the seas guided completely by algorithms, who is actually steering the global economy? As the physical labor disappears, the human element isn't vanishing. Actually, scratch that. It's more like it's evolving into something entirely new. It's going to require unprecedented levels of digital governance and strategic oversight. It's an incredible time for global trade, and I really hope this explainer left you eager to explore more about the invisible networks that power our world. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.